Recording live. Yep.
Oh, hey! So we're all squished together on the CBS 12 set because this is how it's going to be when your family members are all in your house for the holidays.
Did I just make that noise?
So we are continuing the conversation. Andrea was on our 9 o'clock newscast talking about how to get through the holidays and all the stress that is associated with it. Yeah. And, you know, she was basically saying that you really need to be present.
Yes.
Give people your attention.
Presence.
Why is that so important, Lee?
Well, it's a very rare thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, most people are having so much in their minds that they're actually not right here and now. You know, it's a very rare thing, and you can tell. You can actually tell when somebody's present.
Not paying attention.
There's nothing worse. Haven't you ever had that where you're talking to someone and all of a sudden they're sort of off? They've gone.
It's every conversation with Suzanne.
It's so true.
Wait, I didn't turn the lights on.
Yeah.
I didn't light the candle. Hold tight.
But Roby, you were saying that like you really feel like you have to be perfect.
Yeah, I get so worked up, and I feel like if I can't present a perfect house, if I'm hosting people or family, that everything's going to fall apart. And then I'm so stressed out by the time that everyone gets there, I'm either so exhausted or so worked up, I can't enjoy it at all.
I can totally relate to you, and I'm so much better, but I would be so stressed when I was having people over because I wanted everything to be perfect that I would feel it in my back. I would get back pain. So here I am, like taking an Advil. This was years ago before I met you. I'd be like taking an Advil because I have back pain because I'm worried about everything being perfect. And you know, Lee always says to me, use paper, make it simple. The paper's a little hard for me.
The paper's hard for me too. I can't do paper plates.
However,
and I would shame you if you
Yes,
served me
you
paper
would.
plates.
Right,
I would
totally
shame
would.
you.
Annie's a shamer.
but it's not about the paper. It's about like keeping it simple for yourself so that you can enjoy it. For instance, I got a text from one of my girlfriends. We went to her holiday party on Friday night, and she apologized to me. She said, "I'm so sorry. I didn't get to speak to you. You know, when you're the host, you're running around doing 5,000 things." First of all, I thought to myself, what are you talking about? We had such a great time. We met her neighbors. They were lovely. Yeah. And here she is worrying about how present she was.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go all Dr. Phil. Because I'm sitting here thinking about this. And this is what I think is going on.
Do tell.
I think it's because we're worried we're not enough. Yeah. And that if we don't make a perfect situation, then our family's going to either look down for us or we're not respected.
Absolutely.
It goes back to your childhood, Roby.
Oh, Lord.
Right? Doesn't everything go back to your childhood that you feel like you're not enough or that, you know, that maybe you came from a household that you didn't feel like was enough and so you're trying to overcompensate, you know, and make sure that everything is perfect. You know, I know that's big for me, just always feeling like everything's perfect.
Yeah, and the one way to turn that around is to make others feel that they're worthy. Because, like you said, every one of us wants to feel worthy. So when we put our attention on somebody else, suddenly they're feeling worthy. And they're not looking at the paper plates or something like that, right? They're actually feeling comfortable within themselves. It makes all the difference. And it's very rare that we do that because everything that we've been saying is, am I doing this? Am I doing that? Instead of, how are they feeling? What's going on with them? And creating that beautiful feeling within them so that they're having a great time.
Well, and Andrea said that in her segment too about just not the judgment. Take the judgment away.
Right.
Yes.
Because when you start to just see someone for who they are and the situation for what it is.
It's about this.
Right.
It's the connection.
All right, but there is a lie. If I'm going over and someone's litter box isn't cleaned out,
See? He's a shamer.
I'd be like,
Note to self.
I'd be like, where's the line though? Like, you gotta do something. You gotta clean the bathroom.
But the
You gotta
point
do
is
the
that
dishes.
if you can just be okay with that, it will help you be more present, and then you don't feel like
I can't
you
be
need
okay
to
with the
perfect.
dirty litter.
Well, there's a line.
I have
As
a
you say,
dog.
there is a line.
I'm not a cat person.
Oh, we'll discuss that after. But you know what I wanted to bring up that's coming to mind for me? We saw an interview with Oprah, whom I love, and what she was saying was, you know, somebody was asking her about her success, and she was saying it's in the being, and then comes the doing. And this relates to what we're talking about because when we are being that whole I am enough, whatever the circumstances are, I have acceptance for them, and I am enough, and I am present. Everything changes in our life. Everything shifts, and we feel good. And when we feel good, we are projecting that onto our relationships. And that's what it's about. You know, when somebody comes to your home, you want them to feel welcome. There's nothing worse than going to somebody's home and it's perfect, but it feels cold.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's something.
And you're afraid to do anything.
Yeah. And there's something so amazing about going to somebody's house.
And their dog jumps on your lap.
Oh, stop teasing me. So mean. I actually miss her. I've been thinking about it, which is really
We're talking
weird.
about my dog jumping on her lap.
Yeah. But it's about that warmth that you feel when you go to somebody's house. When it feels warm, like you want to
Genuine.
stay.
Yeah.
You want to stay. You want to hang
Even
out.
if the cat litter is like...
I don't know. Let's not get crazy.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, because what if you, because I will tell you, I do seem very distracted here at work, but I do really try to be present when I'm at home and with my family and with my friends. What if you have someone in your life that you can't get to be present, and you really want them to put down the phone? And how do you address that with them? How do you get someone else in your life that you really want to pay attention to you and is not?
Well, again, it's in the being. This is the thing, we're constantly thinking about doing. What can we do to make this happen? What can we do to make that happen? And as soon as we drop into that being, when you're present with a person, it's not guaranteed, I appreciate, but for the most part, you're giving them the opportunity to be present with you. That really is the magic formula, is in the being. You know, if you're being happy, people around you feel more happy.
You know, that's a great point. What would be something that you could say to a family member? You got a big gathering. You're always going to have, you know, uncle whatever, whatever. What can you say that's not offensive, but maybe remind someone it's time to put down the phone or to engage the family?
I think it's...
Put down the phone.
Can you be that direct?
Right, well, depending on the person, I guess. But I think it's in the questions, isn't it? You know, so how are you feeling today? Or how are you just bringing them into the conversation as opposed to...
Setting rules.
Do you need to be on the phone, right?
Right. It's in the delivery, I think.
Yeah.
That's where I always fail.
Yeah.
The delivery. The thought is usually there, but the delivery's really off.
Yeah, and maybe
You're
it's
very
just-
honest. You're
maybe
very
it's
honest.
just- it would be so cool to put our phones away, you know, for the holiday.
Uncle Bob.
You know, it's honestly, it is in the delivery. Like, you know, how cool would it be to just sort of pretend that we're back 20 years when we didn't have access to this?
Right.
Yeah, and
But
I love
again,
what you
that's
said
it.
about the
It's
question.
the being. You see, if like a healthy person doesn't have to have a diet plan. A healthy person just naturally makes the right choices. If you're in a happy state, if you're being that happy person, you're going to know what to say to that person at that moment. It's the magic formula, because it's very hard to know what to do on every situation, because it's subjective. It's right there and then.
Depends on who's listening
It
to
depends
them. Right.
on the
Who's the receiver.
situation.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in that being, it's perfect, because the right moments and the right things to say will come up at that moment.
Yeah. And you'll also find that when you're in the being, there won't be so much judgment about whomever's on the phone. It won't annoy you as much, and magically, sounds like a silly word, but you might find that by you being in this state of allowing and wholeness and comfort and peace within yourself, they'll be more attracted to just wanting to be with you, and that phone might go away without you saying
Doesn't
it.
work.
Exactly.
Okay.
You need to be more attractive.
Okay.
I think it's the jacket. I think you put on the fabulous Christmas jacket, and then you're going to get exactly what you want.
That's right.
But you know, it's amazing. The things that bother us when we're agitated ourselves
Yes.
become really stinking big.
Because we project what we're feeling onto someone else,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Or what
absolutely.
we have a problem with, we a lot of times project it onto
yeah,
someone
that's
else.
exactly right.
Because
So-
I noticed, like, I'm like on my phone, Lane, why are you still on your phone? And here I am on my phone. I'm like, how can I yell at my daughter for being on her phone when I'm on my phone?
Right.
You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right, and
So-
kids learn what they live. So if
Exactly.
we're going to instruct our kids on how to be, we've got to be number one with the being.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that is good advice. Thank you all for watching our Facebook Live.
And good luck.
If you want more from Andrea and Lee, you can head to their Facebook page, Spread Happy. And what's your website?
Spreadhappy.net.
Spreadhappy.net. They run these amazing workshops where you can go and learn how to be happy. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see you
Thank you.
next week.
Thank you.
And
Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Don't be stressed.